Right now, with COVID cases continuing to decline in Dane County, we hear from you on what should be done about the mask mandate here. Also, more details released on the officer-involved shooting of Quadren Wilson as protesters rally outside the Dane County jail demanding answers. Plus, the man accused of killing a woman in a hit-and-run crash now faces multiple charges, while the victim's daughter says the criminal justice system failed her family. This is News 3 Now at 6. We begin with the continuing decline of COVID cases. The latest data from Public Health Madison, Dane County showing every age group seeing a downward trend in numbers over the past 4 weeks. In its weekly data snapshot, PHMDC says the county is averaging 569 new COVID cases a day over the last 2 weeks. And the average number of people hospitalized has also dropped to about 132. More than half of the county's population, 58.5%, is considered up to date on their vaccinations, meaning they have received all recommended COVID vaccine doses, including booster doses, once they are eligible. So what does that mean for Dane County's mask mandate? Public Health here won't give us a firm answer on if other states dropping mask orders will impact their upcoming decision. So today we asked people who were more than happy to give us some answers. And Brad Hamilton live in Madison tonight. And Brad, you talked to a lot of people. What were they saying?
Yeah, Eric, we got to talk to several dozen people, and the vote was pretty much split. But one thing was for sure, everyone had an opinion about it.
Whether for an extension,
they can put a mask on to keep everyone healthy. I think that's the least they could do, and it doesn't hurt anybody. It's not hard.
Or for expiration.
Dude, I'd vote against it. I'm about sick of it.
Folks in Dane County knew their personal answer to a question that impacts the public. Should public health end its countywide mask mandate after March 1st?
Yep, I think it's time we can lift it now with the cases going down and everything.
I just think, why not? You know, if it's not doing much, it's just a mask. And if it's helping save people's lives, why not?
We spoke with 37 people from Dane County today, some on camera, most off. Our final vote in a non-scientific poll was pretty much split. 19 in favor of ending the mandate.
I think it worked, you know, enough where they could kind of relax it a little bit.
18 wanting another mandate extension, which would be the 7th extension since masks returned back in mid-August.
I would appreciate it being extended until we get through the school year. I have a first grader in school full-time, and he wears a mask, and I think it would keep our whole family healthier if he would wear a mask through the end of the school year.
Regardless, health officials said this week they don't have an answer yet. Something UW Health's Dr. Jeff Pothoff told us is understandable, but he also added with cases definitely headed in the right direction, we may be able to ditch the mask soon.
You know, I think we'll let data drive that decision, just like we've made other decisions during the pandemic.
And Public Health says it's going to take a week or two to decide the fate, whether they're going to expire that mandate or extend it. And again, that mandate is set to expire on March 1st. Eric.
All right, Brad Hamilton live in Madison. Brad, thank you. Let's check your certified most accurate forecast. Here is Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary.
The temperatures have dropped off quite a bit this afternoon as a cold front came through along with some snow showers. As we take a look at Doppler track, you can see the more persistent areas of snow now shifting into southeastern Wisconsin. Just some flurries left to the west and north of Madison. And right now, visibilities for the most part are in pretty good shape, although down to 3/4 of a mile and a brief heavier snow shower over towards Janesville. High temperatures today were in the lower 40s across much of southern Wisconsin, or at least from Madison southward, and in the upper 30s to the northwest. But you can see where temperatures have gone now. Here in Madison, we're down to 29. Temperatures are in the lower 20s out toward La Crosse, where wind chills are down into the single digits. So it's going to be a very cold weekend. After that, we have the potential for a winter storm next week around Thursday. We do have an alert day in the forecast for exactly that potential for snow and or ice accumulations. Otherwise, by morning, temperatures should be down to around 5 degrees with wind chills, perhaps as cold as 15 below zero. Tomorrow, only a high of 13 degrees expected, about a 25-degree drop from today. Later on, I'll take a look at that winter storm in more detail in just a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. The Dane County Sheriff says 21 officers from local, state, and federal agencies were working to arrest Quadren Wilson last Thursday near the intersection of American Parkway at East Park Boulevard. During the arrest, 2 agents from the state's Division of Criminal Investigation fired their weapons. Wilson was injured and taken to a local hospital for treatment. His family says he was shot 5 times and that he was unarmed. Police haven't confirmed either of those things. Now, the Dane County Sheriff's Office handling this investigation. They say no one had body cameras at the scene. Crime scene investigators are still processing evidence, and the sheriff is asking for patience. There are still several unanswered questions. Investigators have not clarified whether officers shot Wilson or where he was shot. It's also unclear how severe his injuries were, whether or not he was armed, or even why he was being arrested. Those are Quadrin Wilson's family and supporters just a couple hours ago demanding to see the sheriff and get answers and get Wilson back into the hospital. They rallied outside the county jail for about an hour. At one point, Wilson's brother had him on the phone saying he wasn't getting proper treatment. The crowd and Wilson's lawyers want to know why police shot him so many times when he wasn't armed and he was doing as he was told.
And it seems like every new detail that comes to light makes it all the more clear that Mr. Wilson was the victim of an egregious wrongdoing by law enforcement.
Yes. We still don't know which DCI officers fired their guns. The crowd today called for their names and their jobs. They also want to see dash cam video, especially after learning today there were no body cameras. The man accused of killing 6 people, injuring dozens more during a Waukesha Christmas parade, pleading not guilty in court today. Darrell Brooks facing 77 counts, including 6 counts of homicide and multiple counts of reckless endangerment. He'll be back in court next month, remains jailed on $5 million bail. Brooks' attorneys filed for a change of venue in the case yesterday, but it's not clear when that motion will be considered. We now know the identity of an 87-year-old man killed in a town of Beloit crash earlier this month. Happened February 2nd in the 2200 block of West Creedy Road. John Tharp pronounced dead at the scene. A forensic exam in Dane County confirmed he died as a result of injuries suffered in the crash. Tharp's death is still being investigated. The Madison man accused of killing a 65-year-old woman in a hit-and-run crash at the intersection of Milwaukee Street and Stoughton Road last month faces 8 charges from that incident. Marcus Longino appeared in court this afternoon for an initial appearance. Longino has an extensive criminal history, including robberies at 2 Madison banks in 2020 and a theft from a Sun Prairie sports bar in January. During court proceedings, the victim's daughter, who identified herself as T.O., said the criminal justice system failed not only her family, but society at large for allowing Longino to be on the streets at the time of the crash. Longino on probation when it happened.
My heart is broken. The person who tethers you to this world, the one person who makes you feel like you belong somewhere. This person has been taken from me.
A court commissioner set a cash bail of $150,000. The Racine County District Attorney says she will not bring election fraud charges against members of the State Elections Commission or nursing home workers after a sheriff called for them to be prosecuted. The sheriff had recommended that 5 WEC members be criminally charged for telling local elections officials to send absentee ballots to 8 nursing home residents in 2020. But DA Patricia Hansen says charges won't be filed because none of the WEC members live in her county, so she doesn't have jurisdiction. As for the nursing home workers, Hansen says it was unreasonable to expect them to know the law better than the Elections Commission. If you paid your taxes last year but still got a notice saying you owe money, you can ignore that. The IRS says it's dealing with a huge backlog of payments and tax returns. As a result, some taxpayers who are fully settled at the IRS are receiving automated notices saying they still have balances due. Now, if you did receive one and you really do owe the government money, you're not off the hook, of course. You still have to pay that, so check your records, make sure you're in the clear before you ignore such a notice. The Wisconsin DNR says the state is no longer allowed to have a wolf hunting season. This after a federal judge put the animal back on the endangered species list. They're now reviewing the rule to find out how it impacts hunters and trappers who purchase licenses for the fall wolf hunt. The Trump administration removed the animal from the list under the assertion its population had sufficiently recovered. In response, wildlife organizations filed a lawsuit. They claimed the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service failed to take proper consideration when removing them from the endangered list in Great Lakes states. Coming up next on News 3 Now at 6, Lady Liberty makes her long-awaited return to Lake Mendota. Plus, are you trying to think of the perfect thing to say to that special someone this Valentine's Day? How Hilldale Mall can help you out. Stay with us.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 6.
What you see is important. How you see is important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Right now, get 30% off lenses with the purchase of any frames.
Over these past months, we've all experienced changes and a great deal of reflection. But here's a change you can truly be excited about. Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, permanently removes the fat from your stomach, hips and thighs, and back.
I walked past mirrors. I didn't want to see any of that. I can't even tell you how excited I am about Sono Bello and what they've done for me.
I'm just living my best life now because I'm being the best that I can be.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently. Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation. Plus, get $250 off instantly. You deserve to do something for you. Call 1-888-512-1753 or go to sonobello.com now.
Save on your fave at the Century House. Right now, get $200 off stressless signature base recliners, classic base recliners with power, and new stressless cross base recliners. Or get a free accessory with purchase. It's time for stressless. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
What you see is important. That makes quality eye care important too. Get personalized care from experienced optometrists at Shopko Optical. Better eye care. You'll see. Don't need glasses? See us for your contacts and save on your annual supply.
Welcome back. Looking for a truly one-of-a-kind Valentine idea? Hilldale Mall, partnering with Madison's Art and Literature Laboratory to show the city some love this weekend. Starting today through Monday, you can visit one of the 4 participating shops and have a poet write a personalized poem for anyone you love. The event free of charge and no purchase is necessary.
It makes it like a really unique gift to folks to kind of remind us that we are thinking of it. It's very analog, right? So it's really different than like a text message or like a meme or something that you would share because it captures some momentum and like metaphors and incorporating things that you like to do.
The event runs from 11 to 1, so you now only have 3 days left. It'll be held at 1 shop per day this weekend. Tomorrow you can stop by every eve to get your free love note. Some of Madison's best young spellers will be competing later this month for a chance to advance to the statewide spelling bee. Madison's All-City Spelling Bee will be held Saturday, February 19th. It'll be at the Mitby Theater on Madison College's Truax campus. Starts at 9 in the morning. 34 4th through 8th graders will be competing. The top 3 finishers advance to the Badger State Spelling Bee. That'll be March 26th. The state champion will then compete for the Scripps National Spelling Bee at the end of May. An iconic symbol that started as a student prank 43 years ago is now a winter tradition in Madison. Lady Liberty back on Lake Mendota to kick off the Winter Carnival that is happening all weekend at the UW Memorial Union. Now it's missing its torch right now. It wasn't inflated for safety reasons caused by some windy conditions out there. You can see the tethers trying to hold it in place. The Winter Carnival runs until 7 tonight, then tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. A new program at the UW is helping more teachers pay off their student loans. Coming up, Call for Action learns about the Teacher Pledge at the UW and what students have to do to be a part of that program. Plus, more snow flurries, some low temps heading our way for the weekend. Gary will break it all down with your complete forecast next.
Rest comfortably with brands you can trust at Waunakee Furniture ETC. Create a unique and stylish room with made-in-the-USA products from companies like Smith Brothers of Bern. Select from a wide variety of sofas at a great price.
Bring quality home at Waunakee Furniture ETC.
Water is one of nature's most beautiful and life-sustaining resources. At no fault of their own, many Wisconsin utility customers are facing a shutoff to their water service. This leaves them without the one life-giving resource we all take for granted. And those hardest hit are on fixed incomes, juggling multiple temporary jobs, or those who lost full-time jobs in sectors hardest hit by the pandemic. If someone you care about needs a hand up, your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your water, heat, and power on. If you are in danger of losing your water service, call 833-H2O-WISC, 833-426-9472. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Sick of waiting for your furniture to arrive? Menards has furniture you need in stock. Plus, you get a free rug. That's right. Buy any upholstered living room furniture at $299 or more and get a free 5x7 area rug. That's $149.99 in savings. Need a new chair? How about a sectional? A new recliner or love seat? Buy one today. Get a free rug. Hurry up. Get to Menards before they're gone. In store only while supplies last.
Save big money at Menards.
If you stutter on the phone, speech-to-speech is for you.
Hi, Nihada. This is Andy Smith, and I was calling to see if our home loan has been approved.
A specially trained operator revoices the conversation to the person on the other end of the line.
Hi, Nihada. This is Andy Smith, and I was calling to see if our home loan has been approved.
Oh, Andy, we have great news. You've been approved for the full amount.
To learn more about speech-to-speech relay service, go to wisconsinrelay.com.
Experience handcrafted and hand-finished furniture by genuine Amish craftsmen at Wanakee Furniture ETC, featuring hardwood made in the USA home furnishings by Simply Amish and other great brands you can trust.
Bring quality home at Wanakee Furniture ETC.
We have a follow-up to a call for action we shared with you earlier this week. You might remember a Madison educator's push to get her student loans forgiven. Leah Linscheid taking action and making sure your student knows their options.
Federal loan forgiveness programs are often criticized for being cumbersome, and applicants are rarely successful, as you saw in our call for action earlier this week. Well, we found a solution for Wisconsin teachers in our own backyard at UW-Madison. Cameron Booms used to consider herself pure Michigan.
My family's a Lions fan, so we hate the Packers.
Her hometown, alma mater, most of her family, all across the lake.
I don't think I would have ever left the state.
Until she traded Huron and Michigan for Mendota Waves and the University of Wisconsin to pursue her master's in education.
I never saw myself ever coming to Wisconsin up until I saw the teacher pledge, and I was like, okay, yeah, that makes the most sense.
That program prompted Cameron to send in a single school application to UW-Madison.
Tonight in class is to share some of your insights.
So here's the premise of the teacher pledge. It promises to pay the equivalent of in-state tuition and fees, testing, and licensing costs for all UW's education students if they pledge to work at a Wisconsin school for at least 3 years post-graduation.
It's just that extra help really made the difference for me, and I know a lot of my classmates.
They're given the money up front. They use it for their educational, to pay their tuition. And then in the end, we are trying to make it as very simple as possible.
Kimber Wilkerson with the School of Education describes how this program solves two problems at once.
Think about a goal for your oral or written communication.
It helps more students pay for school by taking critiques of federal programs into consideration and making this application easier to apply to and more inclusive.
Because it's relatively small compared to a federal loan forgiveness program, we can be more nimble. So we can kind of make corrections if we see something is a sticking point.
Plus, with that Wisconsin teaching requirement, it helps local schools with persistent staff shortages.
We are kind of thrilled that that means that those teachers are also saying up front that they're planning to teach in the state of Wisconsin.
It worked and it brought me here.
The program currently has funding for 6 years. 2 years in, numbers are growing.
So are there any questions about what I want you to do?
80% of master's students have signed up to stay in Wisconsin. It certainly plays to Cameron's sense of commitment.
From my hometown to my undergrad institution's town to here in Madison, I've always felt like a sense of need to do something and give back.
A commitment to students in her new home state, potentially for years to come.
When I go home now, I miss Madison even more.
Thanks to Leah Linscheid reporting there. Cameron is from Michigan, Gary, so she doesn't mind this weather too much.
No, but you got to get used to it, especially if you're not from this area. And temperatures are starting to fall pretty rapidly. It was actually pretty mild earlier today, but now you can see a little band of snow showers and flurries moving through mainly southeastern Wisconsin. Still a few flurries showing up on radar to the north and west, but you can see that area in between. It doesn't necessarily mean there's not any flurries there. It just means that they're really not being detected that well by Doppler radar. And You can see most of the major reporting stations seeing visibilities at or above 5 miles, Milwaukee down to 4 miles with some light snow there, but that's the exception. Most areas are looking pretty good. 3 things you need to know. It's going to turn colder this weekend. High temperatures will only be in the teens, lower teens for tomorrow and middle teens on Sunday for this weekend. Then look for a warm-up early next week. Temperatures on Monday will be in the upper 20s and Tuesday will be in the middle 30s. It's dry weather for those 2 days. Then some rain on Wednesday could mix with and eventually change to some sleet, freezing rain and snow late Wednesday night, and then all snow on Thursday. That's the potential for a major winter storm system, and so because of that, we do have an alert day in the forecast for Thursday for the potential for significant snow and ice accumulations. What's going to happen is on Wednesday, winds will be out of the south as the storm system approaches, so that will warm us up. And notice rain breaking out across much of southern Wisconsin, but to the north and west, it starts to change to some freezing rain and then eventually to snow. As that colder air works southward, the moisture continues to work its way northward, so the winds of the ground shift to the northeast, and that starts to change all the precipitation over to some freezing rain near the state line, and then mainly snow from Madison northward, and perhaps a period of heavy snow into Thursday afternoon before it winds down and everything pulls out by early on Friday morning. Now, some of the snowfall amounts from the computer models, this is the European computer model showing the potential for a fairly substantial snowfall over much of southeastern Wisconsin, and farther to the south, the possibility for some significant ice accumulations, between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of freezing rain across parts of Iowa and Illinois. The USGFS computer model shows pretty much the same thing as far as the ice accumulations down to the south, but take a look at what it does with the snowfall amounts, the potential for a very significant winter storm with strong winds, but that still makes the assumption that we change over to snow early enough to see most of the precipitation in the form of snow here. A little later changeover will drop the snowfall amounts, but drive that freezing rain area farther to the north. And this storm system is still way out in the Pacific Ocean, so trying to nail a storm down to a 50 or 100-mile track when it's 5,000 miles away, still a long ways out into the future. But again, it will follow along the jet stream, drop to the southeast, and then eventually as that jet stream buckles, it'll start to pick up some moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, something we haven't seen in this part of the country for much of the winter. Most of the main big storm systems have been farther to the east and south. So again, this bears some watching for Thursday of next week, but it's not a for sure thing. 13 for the high tomorrow after a high today in the lower 40s, so that's a big drop in temperatures. Sunday just as cold with a high of 15. Some flurries tomorrow night and also Sunday night, but dry weather for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday we get up to 43 and we start out as rain. That mixes with some freezing rain, sleet, and snow late Wednesday night and then changes over to snow on Thursday. The high of 31 around midnight with falling temperatures, and it will be windy as well. After the storm passes, temperatures start out cold on Monday, or on Friday, but warm up for the following weekend.
And coming up in sports, the Badgers enter the final stretch of the regular season on Saturday. Why they say they're more focused on themselves than the rest of the Big Ten. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Your eyes, beautiful on the outside, but if you have diabetes, there can be some not so pretty stuff going on inside. It's true. If you have diabetes, you know high blood sugar is the root of the problem. But that excess sugar can cause the blood vessels to be seriously damaged. And when that happens, this could happen: vision loss or even blindness. That's right. Diabetic retinopathy is a leading cause of blindness for adults in the U.S. But even though you can't see it, there is something you can do about it. Remember this: now is the time to get your eyes checked. Eye care is an incredibly important part of your long-term diabetes management. See a path forward with actions and treatments a retina specialist can provide that may help your eyes and protect against vision loss. Just say to yourself, "Now I see." Then go see an eye care specialist. Visit nowic.com to get the facts about diabetes, your eyes, and what you can do next to take charge of your sight. Brought to you by Regeneron.
Gobin Cars is having a huge winter sale with the largest selection of vehicles under $15,995 or $249 per month. That's right, don't miss out on our winter sale with the best selection of SUVs, cars, or vans under $15,995 or $249 per month. We have one of the largest selections of vehicles in Dane County with over 500 vehicles in stock. So just come on in and ask for me, Crystal the Pistol, Gobin. Go to Gobin Cars, east or west.
You gotta go to Gobin, GobinCars.com.
3
3 days only, shop the winter bonus sale at Grand Appliance for up to $1,000 in savings you won't find anywhere else. Save on top brands like LG with unbeatable deals like this 4.8 cubic foot top load washer for just $7.98, or this 4-piece stainless steel kitchen package for just $22.22. Shop your local showroom or grandappliance.com. Grand Appliance. You make it home, we make it grand.
Saturday morning, we'll have the weekend's top headlines, including the latest on a Canada blockade that's impacting auto industries. Plus, we'll have updates on a possible winter storm headed our way. Julian Starrett will time it out Saturday at 5 and 8.
Madison is growing,
This stretch here, we've seen about 1,200 new units.
but increasingly in one direction, up.
We'll show you where the city is growing the fastest and what kinds of housing are missing.
News 3 Now investigates, Monday at 6.
With 7 games left in the regular season, the Badger men are right where they want to be in the Big Ten, tied atop the standings for first place in the conference. And as they make their final push for their second league title in the last 3 seasons, Badgers know they can't get ahead of themselves. It's one day, one game at a time from here on out.
You want to be in the race. You want to be exactly where we are right now. So we're excited. We're not trying to focus on it too much. Just take it one day at a time. We continue to get better each day. Those standings will take care of themselves.
Each and every night you're just going to get somebody's best, best blow. But I feel like we're a really well-rounded team, and we're going to be just fine. So we just got to worry about what we're doing.
Since November, the Reedsburg girls basketball team has been on another level. They've won every game they've played, and all but one have been by double digits. And as Jordan Reed found out, this season is all about unfinished business for the Beavers.
Top-ranked, undefeated.
The girls are very confident with their game right now.
And they're just getting started.
This group sets very high goals coming into the year. They came up with the phrase unfinished business.
That's because of how last season ended for Reedsburg, losing in the state championship game.
It was not ideal, but I think that just really motivated our whole team to win or try to win.
And it really is the whole team. Reedsburg's entire roster returned from last season.
And I think that experience goes a long way. Especially when we get to this time of year where games are a little bit more pressure-packed, and our kids have been there.
But to get there this year, the Beavers try not to look too far ahead.
Just go game by game and practice by practice, not worrying about the future, just focusing on each week.
Yet, they're determined to cap this season with the program's first ever state title.
It would be super special just because it's never happened in Reedsburg history before. And to be the senior class to do it, I just think it would be just so surreal.
And they'd be
part of Reedsburg history forever.
In Reedsburg, Jordan Reed, News 3 Sports.
Gary?
Well, we're not seeing any flurries, at least on the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison. We had some snow showers and flurries earlier. Most of those now into far southeastern Wisconsin. Still can't rule out a flurry yet this evening. Temperatures, though, definitely on their way down. We were in the lower 40s earlier, now down to 29 in Madison with a wind chill of 20. Wind chills are approaching 0 just west of La Crosse. And look for a low temperature tonight of 5 with wind chills of 15 below 0. High tomorrow only of 13. A warm-up early next week, and then the potential for a winter storm about Thursday of next week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Have a great evening, and we'll be back here tonight at 10.